Diabetes is one of the most widespread chronic conditions in the modern world, silently affecting millions of lives across continents, cultures, and generations. It is not simply a disease of sugar, it is a condition that reshapes the way the body handles energy, the way the cells respond to insulin, and the way a person must live every single day. At its core, diabetes is about imbalance, about the body's inability to regulate glucose, the essential fuel that powers every cell, every thought, every heartbeat. When insulin is absent, insufficient, or resisted, glucose builds up in the bloodstream and what should be a source of vitality becomes a source of harm. This excess sugar damages blood vessels, nerves, eyes, kidneys, and the heart. It is a condition that does not announce itself. Diabetes is not only a medical condition, it is a journey that reshapes the rhythm of life. Imagine the body as a finely tuned orchestra, every instrument playing in harmony, every note balanced. Glucose is the melody, insulin is the conductor, and the cells are the audience waiting to receive energy. When the conductor falters, when insulin cannot guide glucose into the cells, the music becomes chaotic. The melody lingers in the bloodstream, too loud, too heavy, and the harmony is lost. This is diabetes, a disruption of balance, a silent storm that changes the way energy flows through the body. For some, it begins in childhood, sudden and dramatic, as type 1 diabetes forces them into a lifelong dependence on insulin. For others, it creeps in slowly, hidden behind years of poor diet, inactivity, and genetic predisposition, until type 2 diabetes reveals itself with fatigue, thirst, and complications. The impact is profound. Every organ feels the weight of excess sugar. The eyes struggle to see clearly, the kidneys strain to filter, the nerves lose their sensitivity, and the heart bears the burden of constant imbalance. Yet within this challenge lies a powerful truth. Diabetes does not define a person, it tests them. It asks for discipline, awareness, and courage. It demands daily choices, from the food on the plate to the steps taken in exercise, from the monitoring of blood sugar to the adherence to medication. It is a condition that teaches patience, resilience, and strength. The statistics are daunting, but numbers do not capture the human spirit. Behind every figure is a story of someone who wakes up each day determined to live fully despite the condition. A mother who balances her insulin injections with caring for her children. A student who learns to manage blood sugar while chasing academic dreams. An elder who adapts to new routines while holding on to traditions. These stories remind us that diabetes is not the end of life. It is a new chapter, one that requires awareness and adaptation. Prevention remains a beacon of hope. Choosing whole foods over processed ones, walking instead of sitting, drinking water instead of sugary drinks, and maintaining a healthy weight are small steps that create massive impact. These choices are not just medical advice, they are acts of self-love, acts of protection against a condition that thrives on neglect. For those already living with diabetes, modern medicine offers tools that make life easier. Continuous glucose monitors whisper real-time numbers, insulin pumps deliver precise doses, and new medications improve control while protecting the heart and kidneys. Technology is becoming a companion, reducing the burden and offering freedom. But technology alone cannot replace awareness. Education is the true weapon against diabetes. Understanding the risks, recognizing the symptoms, and knowing the importance of lifestyle changes empower individuals to take control. Communities must spread awareness, families must support, and societies must invest in prevention. The emotional side of diabetes is often overlooked. The stress of constant monitoring, the fear of complications, the frustration of restrictions can weigh heavily. Yet many find strength and faith in family and community. They discover that resilience is not about avoiding struggle but about facing it with courage. They learn that discipline is not a burden but a path to freedom. They realize that every healthy choice is a victory, every controlled blood sugar reading is a triumph. The future is filled with promise. Research into stem cells, immunotherapy, and genetic solutions may one day offer cures. Until then, the focus remains on management, prevention, and empowerment. Diabetes is a challenge, but it is also a teacher. It teaches the value of balance, the importance of awareness, and the power of discipline. It reminds us that health is not guaranteed, it must be protected. It calls us to action, to live consciously, to care for ourselves and others, to build communities that support healthy living. Diabetes is not just about sugar, it is about life, about choices, about resilience. It is a story of struggle but also of hope, and every person living with it is proof that strength can rise from adversity loudly at first. Sometimes it creeps in quietly with subtle signs like thirst, fatigue, blurred vision, or slow healing wounds. Sometimes it strikes suddenly, as in type 1 diabetes, where the immune system destroys the insulin-producing cells of the pancreas, leaving the body dependent on daily injections for survival. More often, it develops gradually, as in type 2 diabetes, where lifestyle, genetics, and environment combine to create resistance to insulin, leading to years of unnoticed damage before diagnosis. The numbers are staggering. Globally, more than 500 million adults live with diabetes, and projections show this number will rise dramatically in the coming decades. In countries like Pakistan, India, and across the developing world, the burden is rising faster than in wealthier nations, driven by urbanization, sedentary lifestyles, and diets rich in processed foods. Diabetes is not just a medical condition. It is a social and economic challenge, draining families of resources, limiting productivity, and shortening lives. Yet it is also a condition that can be managed, controlled, and even prevented in many cases. The story of diabetes is not only about suffering, it is about resilience, adaptation, and hope. People with diabetes learn to monitor their blood sugar, to adjust their meals, to exercise regularly, and to take medications that help their bodies use insulin more effectively. They learn discipline, patience, and awareness. They become warriors of routine, measuring, recording, and adjusting day after day. The complications are real and frightening. Blindness from retinopathy, kidney failure requiring dialysis, amputations from foot ulcers, heart attacks, strokes, and nerve damage that steals sensation from the hands and feet. But these are not inevitable. With early diagnosis, with consistent care, with education and support, many of these outcomes can be delayed or avoided. The key lies in awareness, in recognizing the symptoms early, in seeking medical advice and not ignoring the subtle signs. Prevention is powerful. Maintaining a healthy weight, eating balanced meals rich in vegetables and whole grains, avoiding excess sugar and saturated fats, staying physically active, and not smoking are simple steps that reduce risk. These are not just medical recommendations. They are lifestyle choices that shape destiny. For those already living with diabetes, treatment is multifaceted. It may involve insulin injections, oral medications like metformin or sulfonylureas, newer drugs like SGLT2 inhibitors, and supportive therapies for blood pressure and cholesterol. It involves regular checkups, eye exams, kidney screenings, and foot care. It involves building a partnership with healthcare providers, family, and community. Diabetes is not a solitary journey. It is a collective challenge. Families must understand, employers must support, societies must provide resources. The emotional toll is heavy. Living with diabetes can cause stress, anxiety, and depression. The constant vigilance, the fear of complications, the burden of responsibility can weigh heavily. But within this struggle lies strength. Many people with diabetes live long, fulfilling lives, achieving their dreams, raising families, building careers, and inspiring others. Their resilience becomes a lesson for all of us, that discipline and awareness can transform adversity into triumph. The future holds promise. Advances in medicine, technology, and education are changing the landscape. Continuous glucose monitors, insulin pumps, artificial pancreas systems, and new medications are making management easier and more effective. Research into stem cells, immunotherapy, and genetic approaches offers hope for cures or long-term remission. Global initiatives like the WHO's Diabetes Compact aim to improve care and prevention worldwide. But technology alone is not enough. What matters most is awareness, education, and empowerment. Every person must understand the risk factors, the symptoms, and the importance of lifestyle. Every community must support healthy living. Every government must invest in prevention and care. Diabetes is a challenge, but it is not unbeatable. It is a reminder that health is precious, that balance is essential, that discipline is powerful. It is a call to action for individuals, families, and societies. It is a story of struggle, but also of hope. And in telling this story, we remind ourselves that knowledge is power, that awareness saves lives, and that every step toward healthier living is a step away from the complications of diabetes.